Hi, my name is Dawn Papple and I'm a blogger for Everything Birth. Today I'm going to show you how to use the Moby wrap. And this instructional guide is not going to get into all of the details. There's countless, well not countless, if I had time I could count them, but I don't have time. So there's plenty of ways that you can do it in this manual. I want to show you a trick way that I've learned how to do the most popular hold. This hold will take you from birth on up to 3 years or more, is until the baby gets too heavy for you to carry them. There's a couple of trick ways. I've done at least 1,000 different demonstrations for people over the years because I owned a store much like Everything Birth, and every single day I was getting many people that would come in and would learn how to use it. So I think that this is going to be much easier for you and show you some tricks. So I'm going to set this down. Okay, so this is the Moby wrap, and there is just so much to it. It's huge, and so people get really overwhelmed quite a bit. But you don't need to be overwhelmed. This is actually the most comfortable carrier that you can possibly have, and it's once you understand it and how to make it easy on you, you're going to love it. Okay. Okay. The Moby wrap comes folded in, it'll be like in thirds, like this, in the bag. But what I'll have you do is just separate it out completely. Most of the videos that you'll find online will have you start like this and then just kind of like throw it over your shoulder one at a time. We're not going to do that because we want to get a really snug fit that you can wear for hours and hours and that you won't have to take off and reapply throughout the day. It's good for you to wear your baby 3 to 4 hours when they're first born every day or more, as much as you can. So you want it to be comfortable. The more you wear your baby in the beginning, the less you'll have to wear your baby at the end. In another segment, I'm going to try to get my 2.5-year-old to get into this carrier once I have it all tied up. She's sleeping right now, which is going to work out for us much better because this is several tries into making this instructional video. Okay, so the first thing that you'll want to do is find the tag that is in the middle of the Moby wrap. You find the tag right here. It says Moby. And you fold it in half, just a little bit. You don't have to worry about folding it all in half or keeping it all in half. You just do a little bit at a time. You'll fold it in half, and that's going to make a pocket. You'll want it to be facing up because as you get more comfortable with this, you'll try out other things, and having the pocket will be handy. So we'll just practice this way because it's pretty much the universal way to do it with the exception of a few different holds. You'll walk your fingers out. See, if you notice, I've got one finger in between the pocket there, and that helps it so that it just stays even. Okay, so what I'm going to do there is I'm going to put the top of the tag just above my belly button, and I'm going to come back around here, and then what you do is you're going to want to crisscross. Well, in a lot of the other videos they tell you to do it one at a time. I'm going to show you how to do it 2 at a time. And how you do that is you just take the one and hold both of the panels with the one hand. Then you take this hand and you reach underneath and grab the opposite panel. Now what you did is you made an X. You want that X to go over your back. It's the thing that's going to make it much more comfortable on you, and the more flat you can keep the X, the more comfortable that it'll be for you to carry a baby at any weight. Now, in order to throw it over your shoulders, it's really simple. You just walk it out. If you have to, if it starts to come unfolded, you can just stick your finger in it and just gradually walk it out. But you walk it out to the length of your arms, and then very simply, you arch your back forward, kind of stick your butt out, and then pull this up over your shoulders, just like that. And then you've got it over. And you've got it over even, so one side isn't going to be super long and the other side super short. Now, at this point, you have some bunches right here. You don't want the bunches to be there because that's going to pull on your back as the baby gets older. And also, more importantly than your back comfort, when you put a little baby in there, as you walk through the day and this adjusts, it'll leave more room in here for the baby and it won't be as secure. So what you'll do is you'll take the top and the bottom and just pull it apart, and that'll kind of flatten it. And you do that over here too. And I want to show you what it's doing right here. okay? Then you do the same thing up here. And as you separate them, you kind of pull them up a little bit. And you want it to be really taut on your back and flat. Now, there's not much space in here, as you can see. Maybe I can fit an arm in there. That's all you're going to need because this material is really, really stretchy. If it's too loose, it's not going to be comfortable and it's not going to be as safe. It's still going to be much safer than like a sling, for example, that goes over your shoulder because baby can fall out of that at any time. Those carriers are not hands-free. This will be hands-free, especially if you do it right. At this point, you'll have these two long panels that'll be just hanging over your shoulders. So what you'll want to do is you will tuck it under here, both of these. Just like that. Okay? And then what you'll do from here is you'll crisscross. So you have the X on your back, and then you have the X on your front, and that's going to be to protect the baby. So the X on the back protects you, the X on the front protects the baby. And then all you do from there is simply wrap it around back here, bring it back and tie it until you run out of space. Okay, so now you've got a lot of stuff going on here, but that's okay because I'm going to show you how to be able to tell the difference between all of it. Also at this point, make sure before you start getting the baby in, pull your shirt down because otherwise you'll never be able to get it back down. 1 second. Okay, now. Okay, at this point, because I don't have an infant anymore, I'm going to be using the Lion. Now, what you'll do is, now your infant won't have a tail hopefully, so we'll just pretend it's not there. There's lots of ways to use the Moby. Some of them include you setting it into a pocket like this. The best thing for your baby's nervous system is if it's in a vertical position, completely against you. That way it can mirror all of your functions, all of your nervous functions and stuff, and then it will help it develop. It'll help it need to be carried much less. It'll also help with digestion, colic for sure. Okay, so you have the baby up like this. Now, one problem that a lot of people try to do is they kind of just try to stuff their baby's foot in there, and that'll hurt the baby. So, I mean, maybe not the first time, but at some point you're going to do it wrong. So what you'll want to do is use the one hand to support your baby, like this. Elbow right in there with the neck like this. I mean, I know that you've held your baby this way before, but what you'll want to do in addition to that is use your hands to hold the baby's leg up against itself. So then the baby's foot is going to be against his foot. At this point, you will take and make a ring with your finger around this panel, way from up here, and pull it, and it'll stretch. And then you just set the baby in. So that way, instead of you trying to make the baby fit into the carrier, you will be making the carrier adjust towards the baby. And you do that on the other side too. Up here you make a ring. It's much easier if you make a ring and just really stretch it out. And then keep holding the baby. With this hand, now remember, your baby's not going to have a tail. With this one, you just want to flatten it out, the panel, under your baby's butt. And then infants, their arms go inside, so you just do that. And then it's completely secure along the back. You have to do this to this side too. Flatten it out. Okay, now even this is still a lot more secure than a sling is, but we're still not done. There's more features for safety here. You'll want to make another panel come up over the back so that the baby absolutely cannot move. But you got a lot of stuff going on here, so people often get this wrong. There's one cheat way that will make it very easy for you, and that's to find the tag. The panel with the tag is the one that you'll want to pull over the baby next. So, protect your baby's legs, and then just simply pull the panel over. And then you can adjust the baby down to the height that you need by pulling on both the carrier and underneath your baby's armpits. It'll kind of like help the baby slide. Your baby will actually slide more than this Lion because, well, it's a stuffed animal. Okay, at this point, you can do a couple of things with this. You can use this panel and separate it out to be like a nursing cover, or to keep the baby from sun, or if the baby's sleeping, to kind of like support his head. And you just pull it up like this. and that's all you do. In order to get the baby out, now normally your baby will actually sit down here because it won't have quite the head in here. Before I show you how to take the baby out, when you have the baby in, you will want to flatten this if you're going on long walks, because the flatter this back area is, the more comfortable it's going to be for you for long term. And it may seem like this is going to be hot, but it's actually much cooler because this is a very breathable material, and it's much cooler than having something with straps sticking in on you, creating sweat. This is actually quite comfortable. So, anyways, I already started to do that. So you pull the panel down to get the baby out, and then you just kind of slightly open it up, stick your fingers, or your thumbs rather, underneath the baby's armpit and pull up, and that's it. So then you have this ready to go. Here, go Noah. You have this ready to go for any time you want to. It's all set. So there were times when the baby was first born that I would just kind of walk around like this. I brought my baby to my store, and I would carry her when she was in the house too, and I was around doing chores. So it was very convenient to just have this ready. It's not uncomfortable by any means. However, if you do want to get it off, all you have to do is untie it and then just kind of slide out of it.